Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News. You've entered the effing awesome classroom, and we need you to comment on the intro to the creator. So I'm going to leave links down below in the description box where you can do that. Keep calm. It's boom time. Near record snowfall for 2019. We didn't have much snow last winter, but this winter, 2019, almost more snow than ever recorded before winter. Have you ever heard such a thing? The forecast doesn't have much snow in the forecast right now, but it only takes less than 1 inch of snow to break the all-time record. The numbers below show the amount of snow in a calendar year, and we have a long time before that happens. Heads up, Iowa, you're buried. Indy breaks another record with December 15 snowfall. The National Weather Service recorded 4.3 inches of snow in Indianapolis. What does that mean? It means it broke the record all over the place for cold and snow, and it's not even winter yet. On Sunday, December 15th, Indianapolis broke a new record for the amount of snowfall on that day, one that has been in place for the last 72 years. Shut up, Al! I got to show you this. Holy macaroni. I'm eating Al's bundt cake right now. There it is. You can't even see that. Does it say bundt cake? I'm going to take it out. Al, I'm eating your cake. Chocolate glaze is banging. Oh my God. Thank you, Al Gore. More than 43 inches of rain and snow. Wisconsin and the Midwest recorded their wettest year ever in 2019. Bundt cake not included, but canoes were prevalent. Let me adjust that a little bit. By the way, it has just dropped to 2 degrees above Fahrenheit. 2 above Fahrenheit where I'm at. I have a wood-burning stove here running at 550. I have a propane heater to my left. And it's still cold and bold. Residents launch a canoe from their driveway Friday, March 15th in Green Bay, which has nothing to do with today, but it has everything to do with cosmic rays increasing. Now, this is coming from Tony Phillips, a new update 3 days ago on the stratospheric radiation due to their balloon tests, and we're going to get to that later in the update, have shown that we have reached, look at this cosmic ray reading here. Holy shinoli. Second winter storm pounds much of the Midwest and East, and kids are sledding like they've never done before, even though they said years ago there would never be snow. Storm alert, wave 2 of snow, freezing rain, and sleet has arrived. For the St. Louis metro area, it will be mainly snow with an additional 3 to 5 inches arriving today. They should have already arrived because it's tonight. Hello. Breckenridge reported a whopping 54 inches of snow over the last 7 days. That would bury most Greta Thunberg's. Snowboarder killed Sunday in Utah, backcountry. He was a talented Salt Lake City chef, but a very bad judge of snowboarding. And this is where he was buried. And then there's another avalanche that we're going to talk about now. Man rescued after buried under snow for 9 minutes in Colorado avalanche just hours ago. A snowboarder in good condition after being rescued from an avalanche Sunday. Not a fun day. A snowboarder was rescued after being trapped under snow for 9 minutes after an avalanche occurred inbound on the Steamboat Ski Resort in Steamboat, Colorado. Hello. One dead, one alive. Totals, we win. Wolf Creek, Pagosa Springs, 42 inches. That's boom. Breckenridge, you got nothing on us. Monarch, Cooper, Vale, it might as well be the desert. No snow there at 28 inches. Loveland, nothing. Winter Park at 27. That's barely a sprinkle. Silverton, you got 0. We got 42. Who knew? Well, we knew once we looked. Boom! We only got 5 or 6 here in the valley. But it's 5 or 6. You got to move because that's going to freeze and no one will get there. Look at these totals. Timberline, 70 inches. 5-day forecast. That's from today. Bella Coola, 57 inches. Mount Hood Meadows, 55. White Pass, 54. This is the 5-day forecast moving us into winter, by the way. Isn't that crazy? Tornadoes reported throughout Southeast, damaging homes and church. At least 3 dead. Not good news. A trail of reported tornadoes broke out across parts of the southeastern U.S. on Monday, damaging homes, churches, and killing at least 3 people. Take a breath. 2019 in review, West Michigan experienced record-breaking cold, massive hail, strong winds, beach erosion, and cosmic ray flux. Now, the following is a transcript of remarks made in a special edition of CBC's up in Canada. Trailbreaker and Felix Lockhart, a Yellowknife-based elder and former chief, is embracing the cold because he remembers the same cold in the past, as the elders do. They know that the cold is the key to food. That's how they hunt, through the ice. It's getting nice up there. Snowfall analysis the last 48 hours showing banner amounts of snow. Cutting a line right here. Take a look. Heaviest winters right by us. Boom! 36 inches up in the mountains in the southern Colorado region where we are. South San Juan's. Hello. And if you come over to Kansas, they're looking like 6 to 8 inches in most regions at this swath that moves through St. Louis, Illinois, into Ohio here. Even in the mountains of maybe Snowshoe picking up 4 to 8. Send me your reports so I can report on them. Winter storm moves through the east. The multifaceted winter storm from the past few days will sweep through the east today. A swath of wintry precipitation of snow, sleet, and freezing rain will affect areas from the Ohio Valley to parts of the Northeast and New England. Meanwhile, strong and locally severe thunderstorms will be possible across the Southeast into northern Florida. We saw those tornadoes kicking up here. That's going to be moving to the east tomorrow. And the snowfall totals are showing a lull in the activity through your holiday weekend, through the Christmas weekend. But let's look at the heavy snow moving into the northwest, burying. Take a look at the totals there in Washington. We're going to see avalanche warnings and watches throughout Washington state. And then another event hits Colorado right on Christmas Day, as it always does, burying us in up to 22 inches of snow in my region. More. Algor, Sabor. You got no bundt cake because I ate it. And then a light event in the Northeast through your new year, which is good news because it's just the beginning of winter. And it's cold outside. Ice ball spotted on island in Finland. Now these balls look like styrofoam. And apparently I'm blowing them up. Did you ever wonder why I blew up the balls on the show? Well, here they are. And they're glorious. Isn't it beautiful to look at blown up balls? I love looking at balls. Only when they're ice, by the way. Iceland blizzard brings 149 mile per hour gusts, up to 10 feet of mountain snow. This is an old story, but I have gotten so many emails about it, I have to tell you about it. Because apparently they want me to tell you about it. Much of Iceland is digging out following a potent blizzard, bringing winds topping 100 miles per hour and yards of snow to some areas amid what one Iceland meteorologist referred to as a 10-year storm, which is not the norm, especially during global warming. And Al, shut up! He knows it. I'm eating his bundt cake. Oh my god. Mmm. Mmm. Look, it's chocolate glazed. Oh my god. Mmm. It's a mini bun cake. Mmm. Mini bun cake. But that's all we can afford for Al. Now, this was the first red alert we've issued with the new system, according to the Icelandic meteorological blah blah blah. Take a look at Europe. Now, lots of people after my update 27 hours ago in the UK were saying, there's no snow here. Well, if you don't live in the north, that's clearly the case. But as the new year comes in, it's boom time, kids. That's all I have to say. Ding, ding. Happy New Year, England. New Zealand 200-meter long fault opens up in a field. Now, I was able to find this in a French periodical only. Check this out. Translated for you here live on the show. The opening of this gigantic fault revealed a 60,000-year-old volcanic deposit, but that's not what's important. Look at the cave at the bottom. And look at the creek running into this. Now, a giant chasm has opened on farmland in the Bay of Plenty. This is near White Island, where the eruption killed many tourists. This is the kind of seismic and geologic activity happening in the region, and they're still toting tourists to an erupting volcano. Look, if you live in the Bay of Plenty, there are plenty of reasons why you should be in your pants. Like 60-meter wide holes opening up in your farm and a 5.1 kicking off 27 hours ago. You're probably not going to experience any large tsunamis or loss of life to that, but you're going to it's definitely going to add to a loss of quality of life. If this is your farm and you have a giant chasm that you've now got to put up a $20,000 fence to protect your cattle from falling in, yeah, you're going to realize the repercussions here. This is just a tiny, tippy touch of things to come as the earth opens up. Did I just say as the earth opens up? Oh my God. Searchers try to find earthquake victims in Philippines. Tragedy over there after the 6.8 hit just days ago. 2 bodies were pulled from the rubble of a collapsed store on Monday, but searchers are still looking for more after the powerful earthquake hit. Tons of buildings collapsed here, not enough time, and time is ticking. Hopefully there'll be a miracle. Seismic update, no quakes of note. The West Coast is lighting up in the U.S. Hello. I'm sure you're biting your nails. You should move. Worldwide volcano news update. No spectacular quakes of note. Things blowing up to 20,000 feet or more is the norm. That's what's happening. Now, cosmic ray update. Tony Phillips, December 13th, 2019. His students have put up some more balloons, and the data is in. And the data looks high. Yeah, a new cosmic ray maximum will be reached in the coming months. And based on Tony Phillips' data and the Oulu monitoring system. Now, we did break the cosmic ray maximum last cycle in certain regions, and we have broken it in certain regions and certain monitors based on other scientists' data. Now, remember, these cosmic ray data points come from all over the world. So when we're looking at Tony Phillips' data, it's going to be this California latitude. And we look at Oulu, it's going to be the neutron monitor up in Iceland. And each neutron monitor has its own location. And each location around the globe receives a different amount of cosmic rays entering. So you're going to get different amounts and different reports. But this area in California is about to break the all-time record set back in 2009-2010 during the last solar minimum, because this minimum is lower than the last minimum, which leads me to believe that maybe this minimum may last for an entire another year before we come back out of it. It's anyone's guess. And I'm now predicting that this solar minimum will not end until next winter. And if that's the case, then all predictions are off. And we're in uncharted territory. So stick with us as we stick with our prediction. Space weather ballooning. If you don't know about it and how cosmic rays are determined, they're not actually reading cosmic rays. What they're reading is the ionization of the cosmic rays in the upper atmosphere. And if you want to know more about it, you can read this article right here. And the first person to develop this technique lived on the land that we now live on, and that's Oppenheimer himself, Frank Oppenheimer, not Robert, his brother. Frank Oppenheimer developed the first cosmic ray detection device on a balloon that he sent up with an X-ray plate, maybe from our property. So this is very intriguing serendipity and synchronous events that we're just trying to figure out what it all means. But space weather ballooning was invented by Frank Oppenheimer. Paris shuts down as up to 1 million protest against the pension reform. Now, you've heard of the yellow vests, and it's getting bigger. Global unrest is spreading. The Eiffel Tower closed in Paris. France's high-speed trains came to a standstill, and more than 90 people were arrested as hundreds of thousands marched against the Macron government plan to overhaul the retirement system. As they should. And as the banks fail, because if you come to LeakCon 420, what will be revealed to you is the fact that back in the late 70s and early 80s, people like Maurice Strong and the Rockefellers had put this plan in motion, which is still in motion today, that all banks will fail and one bank will remain, the World Bank. It will globalize the system. And the global system that you've been fed, like Agenda 2030, and so on and so forth, they're all a ruse. Because once the banks fail, they have the real globalist agenda to bring forward. And they're going to be like, oh, here's the fix. Here it is. I'm going to give it to you. And everyone's going to be like, oh my God, that's perfect. That's what we need. And there it is. It will be laid out before you, the globalist agenda. You'll have to move to a smart city. Everything will be registered. Every breath, you're going to get the chip in the head. Or it's probably going to be in the wrist right here. Anyway, where were we? 27 tabs open. German railway claims Greta Thunberg lied about taking first class. Now, Greta just tweeted this picture right there where she's sitting with bags in the German railway. And she tweeted that overcrowded trains through Germany as she was about to board on her first class ticket out of town when her handlers were already sipping cocktails in the mezzanine. This is your hero. Total fraud. I mean, it's like beyond fraud. California waters are acidifying twice as fast as the rest of the oceans. Now, let's do a little basic science. I was going to say math, but let's just do some basic earth science. The oceans are salt water. Okay? Therefore, they are basic, not acidic. Anyone claiming that the oceans are becoming acidic are lying. Now, acidification could be determined as saying that it's moving down the basic range toward acidic, but it is a fraudulent lie. Because it's actually the unbasification, not the acidification. Because you can't acidify until you pass pH 7, which is neutral. Then you're acidified. So the disingenuous reports coming out about acidification of the oceans is total BS. And I'm a sedimentary geologist. I stake my claim on this. I'm an invertebrate paleontologist, which means I've studied all of the limestones around the world and all of the coastal marine sediments and estuary sediments and other facie models. I mean, I am an expert in this. I've seen all types of regimes through the Paleozoic and the Cenozoic to the modern. I've even had a hobby of looking at the, anyway, you don't even want to know about the type of field geology I've done. If there's one field geologist that has looked at more rocks than I have, please challenge me. I've looked at hundreds of thousands of outcrops in almost every state in America, in multiple countries, and online in pictures, time immemorial. I've seen hundreds of thousands of stratigraphic sections, and based on my expertise of field geology and mapping, I was taught how to field map from the U.S. Geological Survey, top mapper in the 1990s in Nevada, and I was even told that I was one of the best field mapping geologists ever. And I'm not gloating. I'm just telling you that after that point, my whole life collapsed. So prior to that, I had accolades, but I digress. So the point is this, that most of the information that you get these days is implied because the powers that be and the multinational corporations control the narrative. So the mainstream media is giving you their take on it and what they're allowed to tell you only. And the reporters that report on it are only allowed to report on what they're reporting only. Very similar to 1990s, when you're only allowed to apply for funding if it was global warming. Only. The rest would be denied. So you had to be like, God, how am I going to study the moon? The moon changes due to global warming. Oh, I got funded. Are you picking it up? So, oceans will never be acidic, ever, because they can't be, because they're salt water. They're basic. And it's the basic nature of basic saltwater oceans that allow the corals to live and other ocean creatures. And what these alarmists want you to believe is that because of you, the oceans are going to suddenly become acidic and nothing will live and everything will melt. Oh my God. I assure you, nobody's melting. It's now 1 degree in the studio. We're not melting. Shut up, Al! Man, do you know how warm it is in that hole? It's 54 degrees, that prick. Thank you, geothermal energy. Ron Paul, vote all you want. The secret government will not change. Links will be below. It's my hero. One of them. Now, a man named Nobody ran for mayor claiming nobody tells the truth. Nobody can fix the economy, and nobody cares about the poor. Elect nobody. And I agree. 92% of Americans think their basic rights are being threatened. Mostly the Second Amendment and other shit. Sovereignty. And they're right. Scientists endorse mass civil disobedience to force climate action. Now, whoever these scientists are, they should be jailed because they're, domestic terrorists. The scientists that endorse mass civil disobedience based on non-factual evidence, based on fraudulent information, are domestic terrorists. Not paleoclimatologists and scientists like Diamond, Tim Ball, Tony Phillips, and others that have credentials. And we've been studying the topic for decades. Not people like us. Because if you were to research what our motives are, they're genuine. Just like the steam coming from my mouth. Now, whatever scientists endorse mass civil disobedience, they're not real scientists. They're not paleoclimatologists. They may be scientists in a different field, but they did not look into what they're talking about. They're just lazy schmucks that have jumped onto a bandwagon. Hello! Jump on. There's one of the... This apparently is the biggest bandwagon leader. Please, whoever your schmuck ass is, come on my show. You total tart schmart. Julia Steinberger. Hey, Steinberger. Oppenheimer Ranch at gmail.com. Spelled phonetically, by the way. I might even reach out to Julia. And guess what? She's going to clam up all sights on Mexico as it discovers the world's largest lithium deposit. Now, we need lithium for batteries. And the powers that be know we need batteries for power storage moving forward. A lot of you mocked me when I said Mexico is the next war front. My evidence is before you. Evidence of unusual geomagnetic regimes recorded in Pleistocene volcanic sequences from the Lesser Caucasus, southern Georgia. You don't need to decipher the paper or pay $22.50 to rent it for 7 hours. The paper says that the geomagnetic poles can flip around quickly, unexpectedly, as they collapse. Period. Ancient coal dragon is now the oldest para-reptile ever found. Now, we all know about the Cretaceous-Tertiary boundary, the KT boundary, the big comet that hit the Yucatan Peninsula. Hello! As other cosmic catastrophists look for more comets, we're left to ponder the electric universe and what the meaning really is. But I digress. Let's get back to the para-reptile. Now, apparently, prior to the Carboniferous, or post-Carboniferous, was when the dinosaurs began. But prior to that, the reptiles began. And now, after that, the reptiles exist. So reptiles are badass. And something weird happened during the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous, the Mesozoic. And it's my belief that there was a different cosmological regime. We were being towed by a brown dwarf through space, and there was a different gravity on Earth. Many people would agree with me, but that's as far as I'll get tonight. U.S. researchers alarmed as government cuts ties with elite science advisory group. Now, this is the Jason group. Now, the Jason panel work is in jeopardy as the Department of Defense declines to renew its contract. Now, this was back in April. And if you want to know who the Jason group is, it's a secretive group of Cold War scientist advisors that are fighting to survive. In fact, they've been cut off. After 59 years of service, Jason, the famed science advisory group, was being fired, and it didn't know why. On March 29th, the exclusive and shadowy group of 65 scientists received a letter from the Department of Defense saying it just over a month to pack its files up and get out of Dodge. Something is happening at the top end. Serbia, Kovleka, of human civilization, recent archaeological findings have confirmed the entire Danube Valley was populated with an early, advanced civilization, manifesting a surprisingly well-developed level of amazingness. Take a look at these vases. 8 8,000 years old. And there were toys with wheels. Giant black hole at the center of our galaxy may have a friend. Scientists spot ancient starburst in Milky Way's heart in a stunning new image. Black hole, black hole, black hole. Double whammy of devastation. Volcanic eruptions 66 million years ago poisoned the seas with mercury, spelling doom for the dinosaurs even before the Chicxulub asteroid hit. Are you picking up? Kids don't need plastic junk. Stop buying it. Christmas is coming. Plastic is for dummies. Buy wood blocks or some other shit. Go to the thrift store, for goodness sake. Recycle. CO2 is not the problem. Garbage and plastic is. Cauliflower, coconut oil, ginger, turmeric, and... it's amazing. If you don't know how to cook, this is your step in. You can cook something that's Ayurvedic. That means it'll heal you. And if you don't know how to cook and you can't do this recipe, then you'll never know how to cook. Here are the ingredients, and the instructions are simple. You heat coconut oil for 30 seconds. You add a few ingredients and simmer until they sputter, until they soften. Then you add the rest of the ingredients and you simmer it for an hour. And then you have boom. Now, mysterious light in the sky could be a sign of alien life, experts say. Could mysterious flashing lights among the stars be signs of extraterrestrial life? Astrophysicists aren't ruling it out. In a new paper, they theorized that a number of inexplicable flickering lights observed over the decades may be interstellar communication lasers. And these, many are calling fast radio bursts, which Adrian D'Amico is an expert in the field. He's going to kick off LeakCon Gaia 4420 with a talk on global consciousness manipulation and how the powers that be have been manipulating our brains. I'm going to talk about cosmic catastrophe, the cover-up, starting with Charles Hapgood, Chan Thomas, the formation of the CIA, and why Elon Musk knows exactly what's going on. Leah Shaper, my partner, is going to have a breakthrough discussion on linear is a lie. The linear timeline that the current narrative purports, where we were all hunter-gatherers in the past and we just learned farming recently. She is going to poke holes in that you've never seen. It's a complete fraud. Brian Forster, Hidden Technology, one of the most traveled ancient technology specialists on the planet, is going to join us to expose the fraud of linear. Rex Bear, you love him. Nanu. Esoteric Connection. He's going to talk about why religions, what they mean, this Sumerian kings list, and how it all comes together. Will you be there? There's still time to purchase your Grand Solar Minimum shirts. Click the link below. Al, get in your hole! Hope you got something out of the video. I got a new comment. There are mysterious lights in the sky, and there are people coming to the Gaia-sphere in April. Are you coming? Tickets will be available in 14 days. Mark my words. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. Share this video. And we'll see you at LeakCon.